18th, 2013. As members know, this meeting is broadcast over the community TV network and is live. With that, I'll entertain a motion for the meeting minutes from our last meeting.
So move. Second.
Motion by John, seconded by Babe to approve the meeting minutes. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous at 4. There's no 81P plans tonight. Third item on our agenda is an update from Chad Boardman from Eastland Partners on the Upper Childs Trail Phase 3. Work from since the last time we met last month. Chad?
Hi. Sorry about the shorts.
Sorry, we'll let it go.
please,
We'll let it
it's
go,
fine.
don't worry.
You should have said anything.
Probably
I
wearing
can't
my bathing
see
suit.
it.
During the last meeting here, we've got a little bit of change of plans, actually. We're going to be heading into the school. Thank you. Actually heading to Sacred Heart Church a little ahead of time. They're getting out of class session this Wednesday is their last day. And we're going out there this Friday to start to move some playground equipment that we need to do and reshuffle some playground equipment and sprinklers and some things like that. They canceled the summer session, apparently thought we'd get in there and do the entire piece in front of the church. So it was a little loop, but I'm going to try to make that that happen in the next month and a half, try to get that portion pretty much done. So I'll do what I can to get all the fencing installed, all the playgrounds moved, and everything I can. So come August, I think it was 11th or 14th, when school starts, hopefully that section of trail will be done. It's about 400 feet or so of rail trail in that area. So, so we shouldn't have any issues. It probably works out better that way, that we get in there, get it done, and instead of piecemeal. So. Then also we, during the casino meeting, we were on during the last part of it. Nobody hung around, but we actually, with the Board of Selectmen, we have approval to use the Cerrone property. I guess it was a parcel that was taken over by the town a while ago.
Yeah, Carroll Street.
Yeah, it's a current, it works out good for us because it's already a paved kind of a parking kind of area there that was previously there. And it gives us an access, a midpoint access to get to the rail trail. It's about 50 feet to the woods to have another way, main, way to get in or out, or if trucks go in, they could come out that way. It also lets us store, erosion control materials, stone and whatnots on that small piece of property on the, pavement, which works out fantastic. So we thought it was kind of a win-win there, and obviously when we're done, we'll broom sweep it and we'd be good to go. But that's pretty much, we're still on the goal of getting the erosion control hopefully in the next week and a half, and the tree clearing will start. But the big goal is to get that playground area all moved and that portion of the bike trail, like I say, about 400 feet completed, so the Catholic school can use that access.
Good progress.
But that's it.
Any other comments, questions from the board?
No, I think he's doing well.
Would we like him to come in on the 16th, or do we want to hold off till August for next time?
We could hold off till August.
Yeah, I'd wait.
Yeah, probably substantial.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably some substantial work being done.
All right, Larry, can you just schedule it for the August meeting then? Thanks, Chad.
Great, thank you.
That's great, Chad.
All right, take care.
Thank you. You're right on it.
Item number 4 is site plan waiver, 161 East Main Street, Stan Seflick.
Stan will not be here tonight. He asked me to speak on his behalf.
Okay.
The property is the AutoZone store off of East Main Street. It's
Okay.
in the Hannaford's Plaza.
Mm-hmm.
And the work that they're doing, all of the work that they're doing to renovate the building is interior. But he wanted to connect the existing roof drains on the front down underneath the parking lot and into the catch basins. And I I didn't see any issues with that. It actually helps stormwater quality-wise to keep it off the parking lot, so that's why he came forward with the site plan waiver. He's not doing any other site work.
Okay. I'll go through the letters in our package to put them into the records. I'll just try to paraphrase them.
The sewer's closed.
This is a letter from the town planner. Applicant requests site plan waiver to allow for connection of building roof drain downspouts to the existing storm drain system at the above site, which is 161 East Main Street, a retail building in the CC zone. There is no additional work being proposed. Currently, the stormwater runoff from the roof flows across the surface of the parking lot to 2 existing catch basins. Applicant proposes underground pipe connections to the roof leaders to 2 existing catch basins. There will be no increased flow, therefore I recommend the request for waiver site plan be approved. Letter from the town engineer, and that's pretty much what Vonnie has already explained, so I won't bother to go through that. But again, the roof lead is going into the existing catch basin. And, yep,
Bonnie, how's the striping down there for parking?
It's visible, it's pretty worn.
I think that would be my only recommendation, is that it be restriped, because I think that
Okay.
that should probably be done if we're gonna do the waiver.
Yeah, well, if he's tearing up the pavement anyways.
Absolutely, but
Okay.
what I don't want is just in that one section.
Right.
Restripes just one section and the rest of it's faded, so I'd certainly recommend favorable, subject to the restriping of the parking.
Within the bounds of that lot?
yeah, within the
Yes,
bounds of the,
Okay.
yes, please.
yeah, because that's is separately from Hannaford's, although there's.
There's 3 lots there, isn't there?
No, I think it's just two. I think it's
Just
just,
two, the Hannaford's in that one.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's
my
several cross easements, but
Yeah, because
Yeah, this one.
the
See,
pharmacy
I thought the
is
pharmacy
a
was
separate one, right?
I thought that was a 3rd lot.
No,
no,
that's all,
That's
owned by
all,
one
right.
owner.
Okay.
yeah, it's all one big
Then
parcel.
that strip mall's owned by the same?
No, strip mall's owned by,
That's all part of Hannaford's.
Okay,
Right.
The strip mall on the other side,
all right.
yeah.
Again, that, I'll make that.
That motion?
Yes.
Motion by Pat to grant the waiver of site plan contingent on the applicant also restriping his lot. Do I hear a second?
second.
Seconded by Babe. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous at 4.
It's an easy.
Item number 5 is ZBA Special Permit Variance, 188 Medway Street, Doreen Stickney. I'll read the town planner's letter. The applicant requests a ZBA special permit to allow for an addition to the single-family dwelling on the subject property. The addition is being proposed to the existing non-conforming building and will extend the building line. The proposed 20 by 21.5 rear addition will replace an existing rear deck, which is to be removed. The single-story addition will be an extension of the existing single-family dwelling and will not encroach any closer upon the required side yards than the current house. Therefore, I recommend a favorable report be sent to the zoning board of appeals. Larry did give me a copy, which isn't in any of your packages, but the actual survey plan that shows the proposed addition. And I will let the board members, oh, you do have those?
The plan that's in the packet didn't have
Oh, didn't
the
have the
existing
blasting
building
dimension.
dimension, which
The
is 1.9
dimension,
feet.
the existing dimension is 1.9 feet.
Correct.
Okay.
So the proposed new addition is no closer than the existing 1.9 feet. It's the corner of Medway Street and Victor Drive. So, did you get that dimension right there is 1.9?
Yep.
I'll make a favorable.
Motion by Pat to send a favorable recommendation to the ZBA. Second? Seconded by John. Any further discussion? Hearing none.
May I have your letter, please?
Yep. All those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous at 4.
Thank you.
Larry, you want this package back?
Please. Thanks.
Number 6, ZBA Special Permit Variance 12 Walnut Street, Memorial Elementary School. Somehow I get the feeling this is gonna be a sign. And I haven't
Yeah,
even
wonder,
looked.
what else did they do there?
The applicant requests a variance to construct a non-illuminated 4x6 double-faced sign
Sign.
with change copy panels on the subject property. The proposed sign will be 24 square feet, in area 9 square feet maximum allowed. The change copy panels are not electronic and require manual copy changes. The existing single-face sign is to be removed. Subject property totals over 16 acres, dramatically larger than any of the surrounding residential lots. Further, the lot has 865 feet of frontage on Walnut Street, much greater than all other lots in the area, as well as the 80 minimum RA frontage. Given the large expanse of the property, the 24 square foot sign will likely appear relatively small, given its placement perpendicular to Walnut Street, 18 feet south of the curb line. Also, this location will meet line-of-sight requirements for drivers exiting the site from the easterly driveway. Therefore, I recommend a favorable report be sent to the Zoning Board of Appeals. So they're gonna take down the existing Memorial Elementary sign, Larry?
Yeah, the blue one there.
The
that's
blue one?
down.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
I don't know, why did they have to take that sign down,
Yeah,
just
it
out of
looks good.
curiosity? I like that sign.
I do
You know,
too.
Well, I think it was just not visible enough, and they wanted to increase the visibility from both sides
Well,
of the
they're
road.
turning the sign,
Yeah, they're turning the sign perpendicular to the street as opposed to the current one.
well, I still like that sign.
I did.
Yeah, it was well done.
And that's why I'm saying, I kinda like the sign, but
Well, I was gonna say, why the purpose, what's the purpose of it?
well, this is a change,
Well, it's change copy.
this is a change copy so that they can put
they wanna tell you
notices
when the
up.
PTO meetings are,
Right.
when report cards are due.
Yep.
When there's no school, but they can't go out and change it because there's too much snow, you
Make a
know.
motion, we give a favorable recommendation.
Motion by Babe to give a favorable recommendation to the ZBA. Second?
Yes.
Second by Pat. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed, unanimous at 4.
I was wondering how long it was gonna take you, babe.
You got bored.
You can
Thank you.
skip over and do number 8 next, if you like.
Yeah.
That's another ZBA. referral.
ZBA variance, 70 West Street, Maher Sagas. I don't believe I probably said the name correct, but I'm sorry for that.
I think it's Sargius. Mayor Sargius?
Sargius, okay. The applicant requests a variance to construct a 2-story vertical addition to the single-family dwelling on the subject property. The proposal will result in a 3-story building, some 33 feet in overall height, 2-story buildings maximum allowed in the RA zone. There are no features on the subject property that are not present on the surrounding residential lots to establish a legitimate hardship. Further, town meeting specifically limited the height requirement to 2-story buildings in the RA district by approving Article 5 at the 10/24/05 special town meeting. Therefore, I recommend an unfavorable report be forwarded to the zoning board. Guess we can take a look at the,
Yeah,
so this is effectively building
2 more stories.
2 more stories on,
4 stories on top of a
Oh,
1-story
but on
house.
Yeah, so he's going 3 stories.
I guess I'd find it hard to figure out what the hardship was
Well, not
with
only
that much
but
building.
It's gonna be, it's gonna stand out in that
Mm-hmm.
densely populated area, really. I mean, it's just.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go along with the unfavorable.
Exactly, I'll second that.
Motion by Pat to send an unfavorable recommendation to the zoning board, seconded by John. Any other discussion? Hearing, all those in favor? Opposed, unanimous at 4.
Thank you.
Last item we have on the agenda is a general discussion on the possible amendments to the BP district permitted usage.
I see we substituted the word membership warehouse to just to warehouse, I see.
Well, no, there's actually more than that. The last proposal you had from the Gutierrez Company had been for warehousing as well as the life science and scientific research uses being added to the table. The problem was the actual proposed use wasn't warehousing at all. And I think it was a bulk membership, bulk retail membership warehouse, which is what I've tried to define here and made the appropriate tweaks in the chart to accommodate it. So just in the likelihood that they might come back, I wanted to give us an opportunity to review some draft language ahead of time, so we'd be better able to respond if there was another request coming in. But the idea was clearly to properly categorize or define and explain what it is, what the actual use is, as opposed to what they were saying they were.
Larry, just out of curiosity, why are we creating another use when really and truly, I mean, it's retail, that's what it is. It's, you can call it membership warehouse, it's retail. I just don't understand.
Well, because the business park zone was specifically
I understand,
created
but that-
not to allow
But that's what this
retail
is.
generally.
This is retail.
This
I
is-
mean,
this
we
is
can wrap it up
large-
and put a
this is
bow on it, but it's still retail.
Still big box retail. Well, I'm
That's
not
all it
saying-
is.
I'm not saying you want to do it. I'm saying if they're coming back trying to propose an amendment to the BP zone that allows what that use really was, this seems to me to be a proper definition of what it was. Now, we may not want it in that district, but that's a different question than the initial problem they had, which was you can't really get off of first base if you don't have, the terminology straight. And what they were billing themselves as was a warehouse, and a membership warehouse, and it wasn't. It was retail.
Again, you have to do the terminology because you're gonna have to write it up. All we have to do is say we don't approve it.
Exactly.
I mean, to me, it's either you're allowing retail or you're not.
Well, yeah, I guess that comes down to, do
That's
we
all
wanna do
I
this, or
agree
do we
with-
wanna
I
just
agree
open
with
up,
you
do we
100%.
just wanna open up
The more
to
you think
retail?
about this, the-
Well, that's just it. If you allow retail uses, you allow all retail uses.
Right.
If you specifically define something, allow purple retail uses as opposed to orange retail uses, then you're limiting what you're opening it up for.
Yeah,
Well, in
In
theory,
in addition to these other changes, and really I only added the 10-acre maximum size, the percentage, we never did hear back whether that could come
yeah.
down.
I guess when I first saw this, that was one of my concerns was the warehouse, and it came down to me to be a discussion of okay, we did this, but should we allow retail? I mean, I really don't care whether it's if I'm gonna do it, I really don't care whether it's a Sam's Club or a Target, to me. I mean, I'm not gonna allow Target, but I'm gonna allow Sam's Club because they quote a membership type thing. It produces the same
No, I know.
input to us, so I mean, I think that,
traffic.
that in the same traffic and
Yeah,
everything,
I
so I think it
agree.
comes down to,
We went with BP to eliminate,
prevent
the
this.
traffic.
yeah, and that's why I agree with,
and that's what I'm saying, so either you're allowing retail or you're not. I mean, let's not package it up and put lipstick on it and call it something else. I mean, it's either yes or no.
well, in that case, I think what we're saying is if they come back, or if somebody came back and we wanted to look at this, we would look at it in terms of, would we allow retail or not? I think certainly if we allowed retail, it would only be to a certain percentage of the site, that's a guarantee. And it would just be retail. We wouldn't want to get into a discussion of what they were putting in. We would either allow retail or not if they were to come back.
I think
That's
you can't-
sort of what I'm hearing.
You can't allow bias by calling something.
I don't see a reason.
Membership wholesale
Yeah.
Well, I
rather than
think-
retail. To me, it's retail. So,
I think
mean,
the
I'm
thing
not
that you could
getting into
add
the
to this
semantics.
would be, a minimum building size. So
Yes.
it's clearly a big box
Right.
type of thing,
Yes.
which maybe a Target wouldn't rise to that square footage, but whatever. But I think this discussion is helpful to us, aside from the specifics of, what you call the pig, whether it's a dog or a cat or really a
Yeah.
pig. But the general attitude or sentiment that there's a concern on the part of the board, should they come back and ask me again, I can relay what we talked about.
Yeah,
So that's helpful for me.
yeah. I mean, it may or may not, I think it's part of the proposal. I think, yeah, I think you're right. If we were to go forward, certainly, I wouldn't want a strip mall certainly in there. A big box of some sort of retail, maybe I'd listen to that per se, but, that's probably where we're going in that zone. It certainly isn't something that we wanted to do.
Well, we rezoned it to keep retail out, now we're
Right.
asking to put retail back in, so either you're either in the box or you're out of the box. I mean,
Well,
it's-
we're not asking, they are.
Well,
Yeah,
this proposal is allowing
right,
the
Right.
potential, I should say.
right. So, all right, well, that's helpful. I can relay if they ask, and maybe that will help them make their decision. The second one
Yeah,
is looking at the language we had looked at, quite a while ago. In fact, we've been looking at this for well over a year, off and on, as to how to tweak the zoning bylaw to allow resort casinos in the business park zone. So I went back and looked at it again, and based on what we're discovering, the level of detail and specificity will be in the development agreement. Most of what was in here before is unnecessary. It would be a minimalist change, basically, in terms of the use chart to allow for a resort casino in the business park zone. Obviously, there's only going to be one. And then call out these other uses that currently aren't allowed in the business park zone at all, but would be under this scenario as ancillary and part of the resort casino. So you've got hotels, motels, restaurants, retail sales or service, and transportation terminal for the buses and whatever's associated with it. So this would be a way to, to have a minimum change to the text of the bylaw. Again, remembering that we'll have this very detailed development agreement with them. Add some definitions. The definitions are substantially, in fact, I think they're exactly the same as you'd seen before. And then the additional table, adding a new 3.16 for development standards. For all intents and purposes, this would be a bulk regulations chart specific to resort development in the BP zone. So there are just a few, the percent open space, building setbacks, lot coverage, maximum height, and changing the parking ratios by allowing a percentage of whatever the cumulative requirement from our regulations say now. There are a variety of things that come into play for that. Obviously, you have, it's a destination, so you'll have kind of a captive audience. You're not gonna have extra trips for each separate shop or extra trips for each separate restaurant or hotel. It's all gonna be an aggregate kind of situation. So you would expect a sizable percentage reduction, at least, from what you would typically do with a cumulative parking total just right out of the chart in the bylaw. So we'll see what the numbers come out to be, and whatever that percentage ends up being, I'd suggest that go in there.
Could we also talk to the fire chief about the height restriction?
I was gonna ask, don't we have a 5-story, don't,
well, that'll be, that's gonna come out of the whole thing. I mean, it's gonna be part of what's
Yeah, but
presented.
it's gonna have to be a zoning bylaw change.
Right.
Right, but that's.
But it's only for that zone, and it's gonna be part of whatever they present, if it ever comes forward. If they have a 5-story hotel, he's gonna have to give his okay prior to it even coming to us.
And to start the zoning amendment process, even though it has to start well ahead of when you would actually have a public hearing, I don't see us having a public hearing on a zoning amendment until after the referendum.
Oh, yeah.
It may be the day after, maybe 2 days after, or the week after, or whatever, but the timing necessary to set up the referendum vote is triggered off of having the initial agreement between the town and the developer, and that's what's gonna tell us what these numbers are. So there's time to finalize this before they submit it and start that process.
Yeah, I had talked to Larry about it, and this seemed much cleaner if we ever get to that point of trying to do it this way than trying to define all the things that were in there for one site, and then having a public hearing, and also bringing this before town meeting when everybody effectively has voted on what it would be at that point in time, if it ever gets to that point. So we thought this was probably, and I know Larry had spoke to Jerry, and it becomes a much clearer thing, where we're just saying the use is allowed, and pretty much what you're saying here is it's what was shown on the plan that was presented to the town and approved. So that's how the process, we see the process going if we do go forward come the fall. That it,
That's all I
Larry?
got.
Motion to adjourn? Motion by Babe, seconded by John. All those in favor? Unanimous at 4. Thank you, and good night.